Well, the latest Pnet job market trends report has identified the top 15 future-proof careers. These include areas linked to the global digital transformation. That says a 188% rise in demand in cybersecurity consultants has been reported. A similar trend is seen in growth in artificial intelligence engineers. Other areas of interest, increased demand include supply chain specialists, along with finance and sales compliance specialists. Head of Data Insights at Pnet, Byrne, speaks to us now about this report. Thank you so much for your time, Paul. It's always interesting to dig into this particular survey. It's no longer really talking about jobs of the future, but jobs of the now. Tell us more about the context at which we are seeing the digital transformation play itself out here.
To me, saying it's such an interesting and relevant bit of research that we've done this month. I think there's been so much messaging about how rapidly our world of work is changing at the moment and what it means for each one of us as we try to hang on to the jobs that we've got and grow our careers in the direction that we'd like to see them going in. And what got us thinking was that last month we actually did a report on the growth of the demand for AI skills in South Africa. And that got us thinking about what in actual fact this means for the future jobs that that we can see that are going to, as we call it, be kind of future-proof based on the data that our systems are able to provide us with at the moment. And really the context of that is that the AI jobs that we were researching last month showed that just this year alone, there's been about a 77% increase in the demand for general AI type roles, whether that's AI specific skills or AI jobs for the people that actually develop our AI systems. And that's the context of where we actually came from this report. And it was really interesting to see how that demand sort of changes in terms of the when we're looking through the lens of what in actual fact it means to South Africa. And the good news is that there's an increase in demand, as you've referred to in the opening, across a number of different sectors. So it's not just the IT sector that we're seeing this happen in, it's across engineering, logistics, and finance types roles.
And the good news always welcomed. What I'm even more interested in is the current fiber of the South African workforce. How much of it needs a lot of work to capacitate South Africa's, particularly young, to get into such fields that are seemingly so-called future-proof for now?
Well, let's frame that in the context of the types of jobs that we've called that we've put out in this report. You've named some of them specifically in the IT space, and you've spoken about cybersecurity and the artificial intelligence engineers and the data engineers. But what we're definitely seeing is that we need that business acumen. We need people that have got a range of different technical skills across different job portfolios. But I think the underlying sort of message that comes out in everything that we can see is that there's an element of digital fluency that's needed. So every one of us needs to be upskilling ourselves to the very basics of being able to make sure that we can operate systems and understand in particular how to engage with AI systems as they become more and more sort of ubiquitous in our work world. But going back to the types of roles that we can see in business and management, it's the digital transformation specialists that we've seen some significant growth in over the last 3 years. Those jobs are up about 180% in demand. And really, those are the people that help organizations digitize. We've seen automation managers, and we've heard so much about automation in the space of AI and digital twins and sort of industry and all that kind of stuff. And we've seen a significant growth of about 73% in demand of those particular roles. But then we get into some of the roles that we might not have anticipated straight off the bat, and we look at logistics in particular. There's been a considerable increase in the demand for supply chain specialists and for logistics coordinators and transportation engineers and even warehouse operations managers. And I think that just goes to show, the flow of what we've got in terms of goods around the country needs this type of skill and expertise to make sure that it continues to perform the way that it does, especially as we see this increase in almost immediate demand for delivery of e-commerce type products. And the kind of stuff that we're seeing there, supply chain specialists, 63% up, your logistics coordinators, 47% up over the last 3 years, transportation engineers, 42% up, up, and warehouse managers are up 14%. But then very good news is we take it back to manufacturing as well. Also sort of one of the cornerstones of industry here. And what we're seeing is the increase in robotics engineers, technicians, manufacturing technicians, manufacturing engineers. And for me, what that's doing is it's painting a really good, robust picture of saying it's not just the IT space that we need to develop these skills, but it's across these range of different industries. And that gives a whole lot of us sort of hope for the variation in the types of jobs that are existing into this future world of ours.
Absolutely. And as a parting shot, what then is required from the public as well as private sector business in South Africa to ensure that there is still growth that offers some sort of job security and maybe growth within the employment numbers of South Africa to eradicate the traditional unemployment and jobless narrative?
Absolutely. To me, it's always such an important question. And I think it goes back to what I was saying about the importance of digital literacy or digital fluency. We need to make sure that as employers within South Africa, even within government, and making sure that we're educating our youth correctly, their ability to understand these systems that are going to be managing our lives and helping us actually be more efficient and effective in the work that we deliver in the workspace. It's going to be sort of the core, one of the core skills in terms of what it is that is going to be the basic requirement of getting into work. So from a job seeker perspective, we then need to take on some of the responsibilities in saying beyond any potential formal qualification we've got, or in the case that there's no formal qualification that a job seeker might have, that opportunity to go and study micro courses and just constantly upskill ourselves in terms of the little bits of the skills, not little bits, but the important skills in actual fact, let me say it that way rather, in terms of making sure that we've got this program of ongoing learning, this habit of ongoing learning that we apply to ourselves. It is going to become critical into the future, and specifically as we see the needle changing so fast in terms of just how dramatically technology is impacting our workplace already.
Thank you, as always, for your input. Paul Byrne is with Pnet. They're talking to us about the latest jobs market.